All right, well, Jennifer and I are on an adventure today. We are at the Santa Paula Depot. This is the original Southern Pacific Santa Paula Depot. And I forget when it was built, the 1880s. But yeah, the guy just told me it was shipped down here from Sacramento piece by piece, which is pretty common really for a standard SP Depot. I'm not sure what number this is. But anyway, our big adventure today is we're going to do the rail bike tour. I've heard a lot of people complain about this because it's expensive, and it is. This is not a budget-friendly thing, but Jennifer has been wanting to do this for a couple of years, so we're going to do it. And my attitude is, don't let a little bit of money stand in the way of things you really want to do. Figure out a way to do it. But so yeah, we just got here. The weather's beautiful. It's 74 degrees. It's breezy. And we have a little bit of time before we get going. So we are going to go check out the museum. So let's go see it. All right. Well, there's the long shot of the depot. As I said, I don't know which one that is right off the top of my head. If you do, let me know. But maybe a number 18. I think those were 2 stories. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you do. But yeah, there's the rail bikes there. And we are going to walk down to the museum there and check that out. For you signal department guys, I've had some people ask me about these, if there were still any around. These Griswold crossing mechs, where everything is inside that box. I had a few of those on the Madera district when I was still working, but I don't know if those are still in service up there or not, but by golly, there's one. All right, well, we are inside the museum. This was originally a railroad. I think it was like a freight house at one time. When the railroad stopped using it for that purpose, it became a feed and supply store called the Mill, and eventually, my understanding, is kind of a general store. But the owners of that retired. No one wanted to take that business over, so they sold it to the museum. The museum people, I guess, to the city, it would have been, and they restored it. And this is an agricultural museum rather than a railroad museum. Here's some tractors in here. The little baby deer. It's the Bambi tractor. This is part of a combine here. A representation of a blacksmith's shop. And then some those were plows that would have been pulled by animals. And a freight scale there. Buffalo Scale Company. Yeah, they don't have a lot of stuff in here. But, better than just being an empty building or having it torn down. And this back here is dedicated to the indigenous peoples of this region. It's cool. We got a little beehive here, so you can watch how bees do their thing. When I was a kid, I was scared of anything that might sting me, bees and wasps, but I was taught by my friends Mike and Steve Bennett in Bakersfield, whose family owned the Bennett Honey House on the corner of Rosedale Highway and Henry Lane, right down the road from where I live now. They taught me not to be afraid of bees. I'd go over to their house, and I was always afraid, and they said, no, watch. And they would just stand there and let bees land on them and stuff, and I learned not to be afraid of bees, and ever since then I've been fascinated by bees, and I love honey. So yeah, that's pretty cool to see them working. And yeah, these bees aren't, they're not trapped here. Look down here. They have an exit that goes outside the building. They can go out there, do their work, and come back and make us some delicious honey. And I should add that this depot is the original depot. It's not a recreation, and it is in its original location. I did catch a little history sign back there that this line was completed in the 1880s, and it connected this part of the Santa Clara River Valley, which was already a huge agricultural enterprise, with the main line, the Southern Pacific main line from San Francisco to Los Angeles, which is the line that goes to Tehachapi. After they connected that, the business started booming here, and then in I think it was 1904, 1905, I can't remember now, somewhere in the early 1900s, Southern Pacific built the coastline from San Francisco to Los Angeles, and this connected that. They extended this out that way, that's west, and this was the connector for the coastline into Los Angeles. Sometime after that, they built what is the Santa Susana Pass Railroad, which is now still the connector from the Bay Area to Los Angeles. If you take the Amtrak, that's the way it's going to take you. This became a branch line, and then in the by the 1960s or so, trucks started taking over most of the business of shipping things out of here, and they kept cutting this branch line back, and then in 1990 it was purchased by I can't remember now, I just read it, I can't remember, but the film division of the Fillmore and Western Railroad, and they started using this line for movies, television, commercials, and tourism. And they had the dinner train on the Fillmore Western for many years. That stopped about 2 years ago. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments below, but I know it was relatively recently, and they sold off all their equipment. A friend of ours who we're going to go visit when we leave here, Glenn and Sherry Griswold, said that they took this train, that dinner train, before it closed. They said the track was in such bad condition that you almost got motion sickness from the cars rocking back and forth. The rail bikes will not have that problem. So, where are you from?
We're from LA, San Gabriel.
Okay, we're from Bakersfield.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Have you done this before?
No, this is the first time.
Yeah, we haven't done this anywhere. You say you're from Sacramento originally? Okay. Just the other end of the valley. All right. Well, getting all loaded up here, and Jennifer's getting ready. So yeah, we just got a couple more minutes. It sounds like everybody's about to saddle up. So let's get this show on the road. We're getting our job briefings right now. Tell us how these carts work and all the stuff that we're expected to do, what we're expected to not do. Since I'm in the driver's seat, I can't use my phone, but I do have the GoPro on here. I don't know how that's going to look, but Jennifer's going to handle the phone. But anyway, they said that the crossing gates activate when we get to crossings, and I asked them, an interested signalman, and they use radios to drop the gates with. derailed. And these are electric assist. They do have electric motors, but you have to keep pedaling. You don't have to pedal fast or anything to keep the motor going, I guess. So I'm told. Track warrant control limit. The mountains out there on the other side of town. Cool old bridge here. See the mountains over there on that side too. Something smells good back there. Barbecue. I don't know if this line was ever signaled or if it was just straight up train order territory, but I haven't seen any remnants of any signals, wayside signals or crossings, which we have another one coming up. Shoot, we're the most exciting thing in Santa Paula right now. Look at some noisy brakes on this thing. Getting ready to cross Highway 126, which is the main road from Castaic to Ventura. Got some locomotives, some rolling stock coming up here. That's cool. Old switch engine, Union Pacific livery, Building America, Fillmore and Western. Cool old steam. And you can see all the agriculture out here. A lot of this is citrus. Jennifer seems to think that these over here were avocado trees. I don't know. It smells good out here, I know that. So yeah, if you know what kind of trees those are, let us know in the comments below. Some V boxes there.
Those are avocados.
Jennifer says they're avocados.
Sign said avocados.
Oh, she said there's a sign. Okay, here's your sign. And I don't know how fast we're going. It feels like maybe 10 miles an hour once we get going. I don't know why we keep slowing down. Whistle board. I've only been down Highway 126. I've been down it many, many, many times. But I've always been driving. So I've never had the opportunity to look around. There are lemon trees there. I've never had the opportunity to look around and see the country around here. It really is pretty beautiful. I have never been a passenger through here, always a driver. See the old windmill there. They use those to keep frost off of the crops. But looks like that orchard has been pulled up. Places like this where it didn't get that cold. Bakersfield's the same way up the valley. The windmills were sufficient to keep the air moving enough to keep the frost from forming on the trees. Places like the Hatchby, we had to use smudge pots. It got a lot colder up there, so we'd actually have to light smudge pots to keep that from happening. Smudging the orchards in Tehachapi, I always talk about this when I'm giving tours at the museum, was a rite of passage for teenagers in Tehachapi. You got to a certain temperature by 6 in the evening, they would call you. We'd go down to the bunkhouse, and you'd spend the night down there. And if it didn't get to another lower temperature by like 10 o'clock, then you would just spend the night, get up in the morning and go to school, if it was on a school night. But if you had to get up and light the smudge pots, you'd have to get up, they'd get you up, you'd go light them, and then they would get you up at 7 a.m. and you would have to, then you go put them out, close the lids on them, and smother the fire in the smudge pot. And then you got to go home, take a shower and change clothes, and you didn't have to be to school till 4th period. Try to get away with that today. There were some big avocado trees over there, babe. Some old ones. You know, I was saying earlier that I heard some people complain about this. It was too expensive and it was boring, and there was better lines for less money. But I don't know. I think this is actually pretty scenic. I know that there's a rail bike thing up at Roaring Camp up at Felton. And that's really scenic. I don't know how much it is, but I don't know. For a couple $100 for me and Jennifer to do this, and I don't know. I'm not disappointed so far. Are you?
No.
Jennifer's having a blast, and she's doing most of the work. I really like that. Lots of bees there. Just don't fly up my pant leg. All right. I'm gonna get all the cards turned around, and this is how they do it. Pretty cool. All right. That's the way they do it. Well, I was mistaken about some of the things that go on this line. I shouldn't say I was mistaken. It's just what I read and some of the some started coasting forward. Some of the literature about what happened with this line, but these guys were telling me they just pulled 100 cars out of here last week, and I knew it was still connected to the west, like I said, and a bridge is out east of us here, and as soon as they get that fixed, they're going to open that part of the line back up to some more business. So, and they said that they believe that even though the Fillmore and Westman is no longer doing the passenger dinner stuff, that is, I think that's going to return. So yeah, it's nice and optimistic, and they are still working this line with freight occasionally. He didn't say how often, but they do it occasionally. So that's the Sierra Railway, and that's who the Fillmore Westman sold the stuff to. So there you go. I don't have an orange shirt to wear right now, or I would. And I'm not going to do any GoPro on the way back. Maybe a little, because mine, it died on the way up. When I got here, it was dead, so I don't know where it died. So I'll do a little bit of it, but it's going to look the same going back as it did coming out. All right.
Why so many cactuses?
Huh?
I wonder why they have so many cactuses.
I don't know. Say hi to everybody. There's Highway 126 again. Stopped here. This is a petting zoo and a place where you can buy fruit and pick fruit and stuff like that, I guess. So yeah, check it out and see what kind of goodies they have. All right, we have stopped here at Prancer's. There are the rail bikes over there. This place is called Prancer's Farm. And it's a big farmer's market. Pretty cool. Jennifer's buying a bunch of stuff. I don't know where she's going to keep it. We only got about a half mile to go on the rail bike, but it has a little basket on it. Oh, well, she'll figure it out. She's a bit. But yeah, you can buy flowers here, fruit. She got a couple of baskets of strawberries. I got some Boston baked beans, which I'm not supposed to eat, but you know what? Sometimes I just don't care. Cherries. This place has a good crowd. You can buy specialized honey and all kinds of different flavors. We tried some cocoa honey, and neither one of us liked it. And as silly as it sounds, I have to mute this song to avoid copyright strikes against this video. All right, well, since we're stopped at that farmer's market, this is just right down the tracks. And yeah, this is a Sierra Railway and UP livery. RP20GE. I have no idea. I don't know what this is. Ultra low emission diesel genset switch engine. That's what this is. But yeah, you guys are probably aficionados are more familiar with that than I am, but it's still pretty cool. And this is one of the Fillmore and Western cars that I'm assuming this was part of the dinner train you used to be able to take. And then the Baldwin 280. This one says it was built in 1913. And I know nothing about this locomotive. I don't know if this was part of what they used to pull some of the trains, the dinner trains or whatnot around here. If you know, let me know in the comments below. All right, well, we better get back to the rail carts before, there's still not anybody there, so. But yeah, you can see we are parked down there. All right, well, we are getting ready to go. Put my helmet on and head back into the staging area at the depot, and then we will be off to Camarillo to visit Glenn and Sherry Griswold, friends of ours. We haven't seen them in a while, and it's going to be nice to see them. Maybe go out and have some dinner tonight before we head home, and looking forward to that. All right, see you at the depot. All right, well, that will conclude our adventure on the rail bikes and at Prancer's Farmers Market. But yeah, had a good time. Did you have a good time, Ben?
I did have a lot of fun.
All right, yeah. So for all you wet towels and negative Nancy's who think this isn't worth it, you're wrong. This was a lot of fun people, cool people running the show. The farmers market was cool, so it's worth it to us. And if you ever have the opportunity to do it, we recommend it. All right, well, here are the URLs to my PayPal and my Patreon. If you can help the channel out that way, I'd sure appreciate it. Keep dropping the ideas. Drop the comments below. Shoot me an email at motorpoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. I'll see you all in the next adventure.
Bye.